Hello survivors, welcome to a brand new Soulstone survivor video. Today we are starting our journey for our hero to zero. We're going backwards here. No, it's our zero to hero. As you can see, we have the barbarian. We've played a single round because a lot of the stuff that we needed isn't there in the very beginning. So if you take a look at match history, it's a single thing. We've got nothing unlocked. We're level 3. We're going to go and we're actually going to start on the Scorching Valley, and we're going to go straight into playing this on the hardest curse, or the curse 4. Now the first thing we're going to start as a brand new character is to explain how the curses work. So as you progress the game, each time you beat a curse or a higher curse, so here we're on curse 1, you'll then unlock curse 2. Now the way in order to unlock curse 3, you have to have curse 1 enabled, and you have to have curse 2 4 out of 4, and you beat both curses at the same time to unlock curse 3, and then it works the same way. It goes all the way up to curse 7. Now you are able to see if a curse is active as long as it is shining and it has the tick under it. If it doesn't, then you know that you've made a mistake, and you need to make sure that that tick and the shining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are all showing. If you feel like the curses are too rough, you can always disable them by clicking this button. Another thing before it gets asked is in the settings, the auto level up option, you can turn it off. I find that it disables or disrupts my gameplay quite a lot, so I actually remove the auto level up. And even if you don't like the tooltips in game, when you hover over stuff you can disable it, but I enjoy pressing Q on the skills to see some of the stuff that happens. So like a good example is over here, you see Bulwark and Finesse. If I press Q, it shows me what they do. So that's what the tooltip thing is. It will no longer show you anything when you hover over it. It's just a bit cleaner, but obviously I like to have Q enabled so I can see everything and know what's happening around there. But anyway, let's get straight into it. We are going to speak about some stuff, so sit back, relax, watch the entire video because you're going to miss out on some important information. And we're actually going to do something today. We're going to do the endless mode. There's some unlocks that you get for the first time beating endless mode cycle 3. So that's what today's video is about, getting some of those unlocks. And then in the future we should be able to unlock a new character from doing this, because we'll get all the minor Soulstones and we will be able to unlock a whole lot more. Another thing I didn't mention, and we'll show it back at the end of the round, but the major Soulstones, so the colored Soulstones, they drop in a specific order. This is very important for a couple of things. One, it's you know how to get a specific Soulstone. So if you need a lot of purple, now you know it's the final boss of every single round. So you can see it defeat Lords of the Void 0 out of 5. The 5th Lord of the Void will be the one that's going to drop the purple major Soulstone. It is a set in stone thing. It's not random, and it's always going to happen that way. Even in Titan Hunt, it happens the same way. The game is going to give you a certain amount of objectives. At a certain objective level, it's always going to be the purple Soulstones that are going to be dropped by the bosses, the Shadow Lords of the Void, if you manage to find them as an objective. So it all works the same way. It's always going to be red, orange, blue, green, and then purple. And yeah, that's very important for the event on the Frozen Wastelands if you haven't done it yet. Okay, now as you can see, I've been sitting in the corner. There is a reason for this. The reason we sit in the corner like this is because there is a manipulation of the way that the enemies spawn in the game. So I'll explain that now once we've finished leveling up. What happens is if you're in the corner, which we'll get back to once we've defeated Colomith here. Let's just get him done and dusted. Alright, so the way that it works is, as you can see over here, there is a wall at the left and at the bottom of us, and this wall is going to make it so that the enemies cannot spawn off of screen. They have to spawn at the wall, whereas other enemies that spawn off screen have to run towards our enemy or towards us a lot further before they're in our range, and we can, or before we're able to actually deal damage to them. So what we're doing is we are actually manipulating the spawn so that the enemies spawn closer towards us, and therefore we're able to defeat, eliminate monsters to summon the lords a lot faster. And that's going to help us clear that first achievement of finishing a round in 8 minutes. Well, it's actually quite a lot of achievements. There's 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 12 minutes, 8 minutes. I believe 10 minutes is also another one. So we get all of those achievements in a single round just by standing in the corner and using electric skills to help us in the very beginning, because Electrified is absolutely bonkers. What I'll do is in the description, I will put the damage numbers for Electrified there. Icy Veins, Electrified, Radiance, as well as, well, it's only those three because ammunition doesn't give you damage. So we'll put that down there, and you'll be able to see just how ridiculous they all are. Over here, the skills don't matter too much. The most important thing is taking electric skills, and then obviously just spamming as much electric as possible. We do get the multicast for it. We finally get the last one, so we can replace that. And we also probably going to replace double slash with earthquake, just because of how strong it is. So we are looking for that. I'm actually going to go and do that now. We're going to take 2 earth. So I'll take the earth bolt, and we will then take earthquake. You can go shockwave totem as well. It is very, very strong, being a minion, and also applying dazed to the enemies. So we'll replace earth bolt with that as well. Don't worry about putting levels there. The next thing to speak about is going to actually be critical strike chance as well as multicast chance. So the way that crit works is, as you can see, we have 28%. What you want is to get to 100% always. But after that, a lot of people have asked, well, Broken, what is the point of going over 100% critical strike chance? Well, it's pretty simple. What happens is at 100% critical strike chance, you're guaranteed to always crit. If you have 100%, 101% or 120% critical strike chance, you are always guaranteed to crit on every single skills hit. And then there's a 1% chance or 20% chance to crit a second time with that single hit. So it's a multi-crit system. If you have 200% critical strike chance, you are guaranteed to crit twice per hit. So if you get something to a 0.2 second cooldown, we're not even adding in multicast chance here to complicate things. If you had 0 multicast chance, every single attack at a 0.2 second cooldown, that's every 0.2 seconds you are going to be critting twice at 200% critical strike chance. Also, this boss is always horrible. So we just got to make sure we do that. There we go. That was the 3rd boss. So it's actually, I got the colors wrong. It was red, blue, orange, and then green and purple. All right, so that's how that works. That's how we work with critical strike chance. The next thing is, I'm actually going to take that. The next thing we need to focus on is multicast chance. Now, multicast chance is quite a complicated one. The way that it works is it has essentially what it does is when a skill casts, it then has a chance to then multicast. So what that means is when the skill casts, it's going to actually cast multiple times instead of just once. So it acts as its own skill in a sense. So if you have crit, then the multicasted skill is also going to crit as if it was the base skill. And it will also apply negative effects. It can do all that juicy stuff. It can crit. It can apply your artifact power, which we don't have yet, but we'll get into that when we get to that stage in the game. It does a whole lot of different things as if it was the main skill, and it pretty much is. It's just you multicasting the main skill. So that's that. On the screen there is a graph right now to show you guys, hey, this is the multicasting, the with and without the multicast mastery. Essentially there is like a plateau where it starts to become really bad to point or put points into multicast. In the description there will be a mega sheet. It's got a whole lot of information. It does have a page dedicated just to multicasting, where it will show you exact numbers and chances of multicasting based on how many stacks of multicast chance a skill has or your character has. So what happens is with the skill, so we'll take this, I have 24% multicast chance, and I have the 4% over here. So I've got in total 28% chance to multicast with Thunderstruck. With this, I've got 124%. So you add what's on the tooltip, the skill modifier, to what your general stats are to get a number of your multicast chance. So the higher either of them are, or both of them are, the better. But there is a hard, or there's a soft cap for it, and a hard cap actually, where the diminishing returns are not, essentially it just becomes not worth collecting more multicast chance. You're not getting enough out of it to worry about wasting a passive on it, if that makes sense. So the graph will show you that amount, but again, in the description there is a mega sheet, a Google document that will tell you the exact amounts that you need. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, because I haven't looked at the graph in forever, but I think it was around like 500 to 600% is the sweet spot for multicast chance. And there you're guaranteed to multicast 4 or 5 times, depending on whether or not, or 3 to 5 times, depending on whether or not you have the multicast rune or not. Speaking of that rune, we will be unlocking it very, very soon. Alright, we're going to grab the damage for our Earthquake, a very, very strong skill. Cast frequency, we can get ourselves some Merciless now as well. And, oh, we don't actually need skills, so we can get rid of that. Damage for everything, beautiful. Now, there is a skill we need to unlock that's going to make this whole build 1,000 times better. If you're looking at beginner builds, this is going to be a very, very strong one. Earthquake is absolutely broken in the game. Any brittle skill is absolutely broken. So Earthquake, Quicksand Totems, the new skills with the Machinist, if you have him unlocked, and that new rune that makes it so that skills can apply brittled. Those skills are absolutely bonkers. You should be using them, abusing them if you want to just clear stuff without really thinking about builds. Literally just throw those skills on and do whatever you want, and you're able to do it. So there you go. 7-minute 29 build. The most important thing is actually going to be the endless cycle. So that's exactly what we're doing. I don't think I mentioned it, but you know, the point is we need to do endless cycle up to level 3. And by doing the curse tier 1 completion, we actually unlocked a brand new skill, which is going to be very important for our Hound Master coming up. So you do want to complete curse 1 on the very first level, the Scorching Valley, to unlock the Build Ballista skill on our Hound Master. Well, it's on anyone that has a projectile tag in their name. So Hound Master will be or Sentinel will be the ones that you're looking at for that. But we're going to be using the Hound Master in the future for things like that. Today, we're just using this skill to get ourselves to Overlord Cycle or Endless Cycle 3. Now you're probably asking yourself, what is the difference between the yellow portal that we just went in, and the red portal that opens up on the left hand side? So if you look at where it says eliminate monsters to summon a lord under the map over there, what happens is that detail over there is the difference. Now for us, it says that we need to eliminate a certain amount of enemies. So that means any enemy in the game, elite, or normal monster, it doesn't really matter. It's all of them. That's what the game wants us to do. So it's the same as if we just did a normal cycle 0 mode. You know, we just did the Scorching Valley, the same thing. And then the boss spawns, we kill the boss, and then we kill another 600 enemies, blah, blah, blah. The red portal is we need to defeat a certain amount of elite enemies to spawn the boss. And it's only, it keeps reducing the amount depending on the cycle that we're on. Sorry, excuse me, frog in the throat. But what happens here is endless cycle, you fight more enemies, so you have to defeat more enemies to progress the cycle. Overlord mode, you have to kill more elites, and the more elites and the faster you kill the elites, the faster the bosses spawn, and the number keeps reducing every single cycle. So right now we're on 450 for the second boss. Keep that in mind for when we go to the second endless cycle. That number should be smaller. If it's not smaller, at least I know guaranteed that in Overlord mode the number does change and goes smaller, and it's a faster to do Overlord mode if you're looking to farm specific things like currencies and major soulstones, the colored soulstones and things like that. They are called major soulstones. So if you're wondering, hey Broken, what do you keep mentioning? The blue, yellow, or orange, green, purple crystals, they are called major soulstones. And then these crystals on the side here is called minor soulstones. And this over here, which is used to level up your character automatically at the end of the round, is called prestige. So just so you know, that's what I am talking about when I speak about those things. Alright. There are other mechanics. I'm not going to speak about them right now. We'll leave that for the future because right now they're not that important. You'll probably see it show up. It's called skill chain, but that's going to have to be like a whole other video for itself because there's a whole lot of different things that influence it. There's a whole lot of different things that can make it easier to get and so on and so forth. So we got to unlock all that stuff to show you everything and make it all juicy for everyone. Over here, we've got Earth Attunement. So another thing is if you have 2 of a certain skill and then 1 of another skill, you're going to find these attunement skills or whatever they're actually called. Each element is a different name. So here it's Earth Attunement. So for each skill that we have Earth typing, it's going to improve the skill that isn't Earth typing. So in this case, we've got 3 Earth typing skills. If I take this, it's going to increase the damage by 36%. So it's 12% per Earth skill that we have. It's not just 12%, it's 12% per Earth skill. So as you can see, we're on 70%. It's going to go up to 35%, 105%, or in this case 106. It must be an integer typing over there. So you can actually see it says times 3 because we have 3 skills. If I go and change one of the Earth skills now, this will be changed to times 2 or whatever the case may be. So as soon as you change a skill, know that it's going to change that. So now we've got polarity shift. Like I mentioned, they've got different names based on the element. And this one's going to be damage now for the earth skills, which we actually want because earthquake is going to be absolutely bonkers here. All right, still want more crit and critical strike critical strike damage. And again, we just chill inside the corner. This specific map is actually quite dangerous in the corner, so do just be careful because there are places where your character can get stuck on, like walls and things like that. So if you aren't happy with the bosses, as soon as the boss spawns, maybe move into a more openly areaed area so that you can dodge the skills a little bit easier. But in the beginning, when you're just fighting a single boss, it's really not that difficult to dodge their attacks. It's once you get like 3 or 4 of the bosses at the same time, then it becomes a little bit more difficult. But the easiest thing to do then is to look for Swift, which gives you additional dashes, and also grab yourself movement speed. As you can see, I'm not having to dash. What happens is enemies always throw their attacks at your feet when you are standing still. So as long as you're moving, their attacks are always going to be steps behind you. And as long as you have movement speed to move out of those red zones, you should be perfectly fine. It's only these big AoE zones that you need to really dodge out of the way for. Alright, we couldn't really dodge there. Alright, we beat the boss. That was the 3rd one. Quite a horrible boss to fight. We do need more life. We do need a bit of armor. There's a Swift, so perfect. We'll grab it. More movement speed. I think getting to about 100 to 130 movement speed is the best thing, especially if you're going into Overlord cycles, although the enemies do gain more damage, more movement speed and attack speed and things like that. So you're going to have to keep increasing your defenses, your movement speed and things like that if you want to stay alive. Obviously, there are skills in the game which we haven't unlocked yet that do provide you with healing. So if you are struggling, or like if your life is very low and you feel like you're going to lose or whatever the case may be, yeah, just try your best to stay alive for as long as possible. Okay, armor is going to be good. More life.
Just what I needed.
We have to move out of that area for a little bit. just be careful of those sats. They do return to the enemy. And we need Earthquake to do its thing. What is my visibility is up? I just don't see Earthquake as much. Oh, there we go. I can see it on the floor. Okay, more life, and we're going to grab some area of effect, so Earthquake affects further. I believe we do need more multicast chance on the Earthquake skill, because the more it hits, the better.
Through the darkness we rise.
Nearly got caught there. This boss, they're very easy as soon as they use that attack. So you just sit behind them and you wail on them. Over here we're going to go with damage. We're going to go with cast frequency. And that looked pretty good. I used to love the bolt skills. So there's a couple of times where I've done different versions or iterations of a bolt build. They are still up on the channel. You could just type in bolt build. I'm sure it will find it in YouTube. And go take a look at them. It's using only the skills like Earth Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Fire Bolt, Poison Bolt, and so on and so forth. The Ice Bolt. Yeah, and obviously there's different iterations because back in the time when I started this kind of skill, Earth Bolt wasn't in the game. Then they added Earth Bolt, so that got added to the skill list and so on and so forth. So that's why there's multiple videos of the same type of build. And obviously the game's been updated constantly for 3 years. So there's that as well. Or 2 years. Can't actually remember, it's been quite a long time. And it's finally out in 1.0, it's amazing. Alright, endless mode. Come on, it feels like it's endless. This is going on forever. And this is only cycle 2, we still have to do it one more time. But like I mentioned, the second wave was 450, so hopefully, or the last wave is 600. Hopefully that will be a less of an amount later. Okay, multicast chance, damage, and give ourselves more magnetic because that's going to give us pickup range. And it's also going to allow us to level up a couple of times more than otherwise. Alright, beautiful multicast chance. Yeah, we definitely need more multicast. Not nearly a high enough number, only 84%. Get to about 200% and you'll see everything starts melting.
I see you, evil one. Your darkness ends now.
Get out of those. Alright, we just got to stay away from Alfredo. And there we go. As soon as the boss is defeated, you get all of the XP, all of the minerals, everything off of the floor, and you should be good. Over here, we're going to get more movement speed and another swift. So we up to 3 dashes now. You can see we've reached prestige 10 because of the achievement, but we're not really worried about that because we're not going to be using the barbarian for much. You do need to get prestige on every single character though. Alright, we now need 400 enemies defeated. And as you can see at the start of the round, things are relatively easy. We can actually stand still now. More area of effect is necessary. But yeah, look how comfortable this is now. We've got to the point where we can, I wouldn't say AFK, but we can certainly stand still long enough to defeat everything that runs up to us. And then we want to stand as close to the boss as possible because as you can see all these little orbs that are flying off, that is our electrified buff from our electric skills, and that does the most amount of damage along with the earthquake now for us. But there you go, pretty easy boss fight. We pick up the crystal and we get all of the juicy XP that was laying around the boss at the same time. So grab the damage, we need more multicast, we still need more crit, cast frequency, area is massive, and critical strike chance guaranteed a crit on full health enemies. So as an enemy spawns, they get crit. And then every so often we just got to move out of the red AoE circles that spawn beneath us. But that's because it's enemies actually spawning those, so we can go and defeat them. If you guys are new to the game, then you won't understand this. But back in the day, well, back in the day I say, maybe like a month or two ago, one of the moderators for the official Discord put like CC in his name. And that was because he is a speedrunner, or was one. He doesn't really play too much anymore, but he called it, it's called the Corner Clan. And that's because we sit in the corner the whole time trying to finish as fast as possible. And that's essentially the strategy, especially if you're speedrunning the game. There is a speedrunning community. People that enjoy speedrunning, they talk about things, the weapons they use, the strategy. They kind of keep the strategy private until they've beaten the record, then they'll show you, because technically you have to show a video of it, so it's not really that secret. But until they've beat a record or whatever the case is, they keep it to themselves, and then you can see what they've done or how they've done it and the skills they used and so on and so forth. But it's pretty cool, it's pretty fun, and trying to push the limits of your character and the RNG in the game is always quite cool as well. Area of effect, damage for area skills, so Earthquake and Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike's really nice because it stuns the enemies, so every so often you'll actually see the enemies laying on the ground as if they are defeated, but they actually aren't. What's happened there is they've been stunned, so the game makes them lay on the floor. So there you go, you could see they were on the floor stunned. There's quite a few skills that do it, and there's one skill, I think there's 2 skills in the entire game that can stun elite enemies the entire time. So it's actually quite a funny build. It's quite a fun build to play with, where you permanently stun everything around you. It essentially makes you immortal except for against the boss fights. So everything around you gets stunned, and you just sit there and watch as they can't do anything. Very, very funny, very, very fun build. Alright, next boss was down. I have not been paying attention to the amount of enemies we've had to defeat, but by the fact that we're sitting at 550 right now means that it does not change the amount. So that's why we say Overlord Cycle is much quicker than Endless. However, Endless is much easier. Okay, more multicast chance, more movement speed. Else happening right now. So we did see a couple of skill chain upgrades. I did not take them. We could have taken them. It would have made us a whack ton stronger if I did take it. So I probably should have, or you can take it if you see them. Especially in this case, especially if it goes from electric to earth, because then our earthquake is going to proc far more often. So it's definitely worth grabbing. We are not in the best of times or spaces over there. There we go. Just had to move around a little bit to get out of the area of effect of all the enemies as well as the boss. And now we need 600 enemies defeated. So Endless does not change the amount of enemies you need defeated. It's just going to keep with the same amount over and over again. I don't think we need more magnetic, so we're just going to grab more movement speed, more health, and just damage for everything. Over here, we can't banish or lock anything, so we can't do much about that. And it's going to be interesting to see what you guys think when I don't use any of that stuff. So in the skill tree, I'll show you exactly what we level up now, because we'll have quite a decent amount of money. The first thing we're going to do to spend 10k minus Soulstones on purchasing the Hellhound, because that's how much she or he costs. And we are going to use that 10k to purchase them, because it's a very broken character, especially since there's a little bit of a hidden mechanic behind the character that a lot of people don't know about, especially if you're new to the game. So definitely going to show you. Alright, final boss is spawning, and it's a nice easy one. I think this is the fire incarnation of fire. Yep. You do have to be careful. He spawns fire at his feet when he spawns. So if you are too close to him, he will damage you. But that's the second round. We do have to do one more round, ladies and gentlemen. So sit tight with it. Obviously, we're just going to get a whole lot stronger the further we go. And we still don't even have 100% critical strike chance. It's so bad. Alright, we've defeated Endless Mode Cycle 2. Perfect. Oh, look, we got the Frozen Wastelands now. So the Frozen Wastelands has an event. You have to have it on a specific curse level, though. I believe the number was 27. That may have changed. But essentially, and I can show you after this what happens with the curses and what I mean by 27. But we'll get there. I don't have all of them unlocked right now to show you the exact way, but I can show you the gist of it to hopefully help you understand. Okay, this Leviathan we're actually going to take because it gives us a little bit of movement speed loss, but that 30% damage is massive. So if you see rare Leviathans, a lot of people don't actually banish Leviathan because of these rare card upgrades. That damage increase is massive. And you can, I mean, 3 Leviathans is nearly 100% increased damage, which is 2 legendaries. So 3 rares is the same damage as 2 legendaries. Yes, there's a caveat of losing a bit of movement speed, but all you do is just grab a little bit more movement speed, and it's not really much of an issue. Alright, our skills actually are on 100% critical strike chance. This is the Chaos Bringer, so every so often he has a skill where he shoots a Chaos Bomb that splits into multiple other bombs. So we do have to just be careful of staying close to him. Like, there you go, there's the bombs going off now. And we don't really want to get hit by those, because otherwise we're then going to just lose a lot of life. It can actually one-shot us, so you don't want to lose, you don't want to get hit by it at all. Okay, so most of our damage is coming from Earthquake. So over here we can either get 24% increased multicast chance, or we can get 48%. The 48% is going to be much more valuable since Earthquake is our main skill, and that's why we're doing that. And then obviously skill, because we get Colossus from the skills, grabbing cast frequency on the others is going to be great. What Colossus does is increases our area of effect. So if we have a look over here, our area is 124%. And if we get more stacks, which I don't think we can just yet, we're on 100 there. So it went to 126%. So it increases. Obviously, if I timed that a bit better, then we would be able to get a little bit more area of effect on the skills. And the more cast frequency we get, and the more multicast chance we get, the more area of effect we're going to get from that as well. Which is fantastic, because this is applying brittle, as well as if we got any other negative effects, it would apply those as well. So if I took a skill that applied bleed, we could add that in the beginning, and then we'd start taking bleed stacks, and then the Earthquake is going to apply a massive amount of bleed to all of the enemies as well. Alright, we got the Incarnation of Fire again. Pretty easy fight. Not much to have to worry about. He's using his flamethrower, so we can just stand still here. Thank you for your Soulstone. Blue, orange, green, purple. This is the map that you need to know the colors for. Alright, critical strike chance for all the electric skills. A beautiful relentless over here to give ourselves 20% increased critical strike chance. Multicast on the bolt skills. And it just keeps getting better and better. We also got distracted in the build, and we got dazed, so we have a little bit more crit. And distracted, what it does is it makes the enemies, we can show you there, it reduces the target's chance to hit you by 5%. Now, unfortunately, as we keep going with every cycle, the negative effects of these things, enemies become more resistant to negative effects. So what that means is the amount of distracted we need on an enemy becomes higher, and you also, it essentially means there's no longer a 100% chance to get it. They start becoming immune to those types of effects, and there is a limit to it. We can get you the exact amount, but I mean, the exact amount isn't really that important to understand. The most important thing to understand is that eventually you need, eventually everything that you put onto an enemy or a boss or anything becomes null and void, and that's the way the game's created. So even though there are these endless or infinite portal modes, getting to a specific level, like to a higher level on it, becomes extremely difficult. There is like a pinnacle part where you can't win, or it just takes infinite amount of time to beat the boss because of the amount of HP and resistances that they have towards your damage. What do we need? More multicast? Yes, we do. More critical strike chance. We still on 96%, but that's the base stat. Every other skill is over that if you add the 2, so we're actually in a very good space. Damage wise, I think lightning bolt probably has, actually this has a higher damage, so we'll increase that even further. I think lightning bolt's a little bit stronger though, because it shoots multiple projectiles. Yeah, that's got 3, where this is just 1. So lightning bolt's actually dealing more damage. And the best part of it, the best advice I can give you in this game is keep moving. A lot of people say they're bad at the movement, or that they're not very good at Dark Souls games. That's a little bit different. As long as you keep moving, you never need to use dash. I mean, it is made that way. There's even a character in the game called the Death Knight, that does not have a dash. So movement speed is actually all you need. And there's been builds that I've done previously with other characters where you literally don't have to dash. You literally just play the game. Like you unbind your dash button and you still do, or you're still able to win. Actually, there's a time where we beat the game without moving. There's a video, I'll put it down in the description because it's just a disgusting video. Unfortunately, the character got nerfed, so I don't believe it's, I think it might still be possible on certain levels, but I believe I did it on Curse 7, if I'm not mistaken, just without the Void Presence, because obviously you can't do it with that thing one-shots you. So we took the Void Presence off and we did a no movement challenge. I think you can still do it on lower levels, like I would be able to do it on my max character with this stage sort of thing. But to be able to do it on the max curse now, unfortunately due to the nerf of the character, you aren't able to do it. But it was really, really funny, it was really, really fun, and it was so destructive back then. Ooh, nice legendaries over there. We're just grabbing the polarity shift upgrades as well. Cast frequency there for the increase in the area of effect with colossal stats. And we've just got one more boss. 450 stacks. Not stacks, sorry. Enemies defeated out of 600. By the time I finish that sentence, it is now 550. And we move forward. So in the same amount of time that this has taken us, if we had to have a max leveled character and do Titan Hunt, we would be at like level 200 firstly, but also the amount of materials. But it's all curse based, the difficulty of this is not at the level to gain maximum prestige and things like that. Alright, perfect, we did it. So that was it, cycle 3 completed. We're going to go through the blue portal now, and I just want to show you a couple of things. So first things first is we've unlocked another 11 things. So there we go, endless mode 100%. We unlocked the Legionnaire. This is what we wanted to unlock, the synergetic rune. It's very important over here. We've got reach level 50 in a single match, 55, 60, 65, 70. We eliminated 10,000 enemies. Does it actually tell us how many enemies? Yes, it does. So we defeated 14,000 enemies over there. We defeated 20 lords and 100 elites. So we unlocked the sentinel, and we unlocked a prestige level 20 with the barbarian. So a lot of unlocks there. We have to do that again with the other side now, with the next portal, but I believe you have to finish Endless before Overlord opens up. And we've unlocked that and new runes, so we can use Weapon Expert now. We can now use Synergetic, but we need more rune cost. And we've got Sure-Footed, which is absolutely amazing for the early game, so that just goes on. But anyway, over here, what we're going to focus on is one, we need, oh wait, before any of this, before we spend any money, we need to unlock the Houndmaster, because that will be for the next video. Next, we go to the skill tree. First things first that we want to buy is going to be this minus Soulstone increase over here. So we buy a single movement speed upgrade, and we spam into this. It does require 2 corrupted Soulstones, so there we go. And then I want to grab a single dash. So now all of our characters have an increased dash. That was 5 crystals used up. So don't spend them on anything else. Get the dash first, get the max amount of Soulstones. The next thing we work on personally for me is actually going to be pickup radius and movement speed, also the XP. So we're going to spend all of our money that we can on this stuff, so movement speed as well, and we can't level it up past 4, and a level 3 XP gain. The next thing is also going to be a little bit of HP over here, so fantastic. And that's all we need. We don't need to spend anything more on anything else. I mean, you can just grab the damage because you have a little bit left over. That's perfectly fine. Gives you we can use a reroll if you want. You can purchase this. It's not really such a big deal right now. And we've unlocked the Houndmaster. Now, the caveat with the Houndmaster is, as you can see, he gets hounds. So what happens is those actually assist you. They're kind of like a permanent summon. They can be damaged and hurt, but they do revive over time. So it's like having an extra skill for free, makes him extremely powerful. And another reason is the skill taggings that this character has. Bomb and blast are extremely, blast and projectile are extremely powerful. So we're going to be using them over a lot of the other characters, and then we're going to try and rush ourselves to unlock the Demon Hunter, Machinist, the Samurai, and a couple of others. So the Samurai is going to be for a rune. The Samurai unlocks the Arduous training, which increases prestige gained. So we need to try and get the Samurai as quickly as possible. And there's a couple of other runes like Multicast Mastery, Devastation rune, which is unlocked from the Cursed Captain skill tree. And if there's any rune you see me using in big videos and you don't have them unlocked, you just got to click on the rune, and on the right hand side here it tells you where to unlock the rune. But that's only if I don't really mention it in the video. But yeah, that's the beginning of our journey. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.